Hi, I'm Chris Stirewalt, and it's time for Power Play. And Internet, you know what time it is. It is Take 5 time. That's right. That's when we ask you every week to give us your submissions. The 5 states, the 5 Senate races that you think present the likeliest path for a Democratic takeover of the Senate. Remember, the Republicans flipped 6 seats last time, but life is complicated and math is hard. And the Democrats need 5 seats to retake the majority, cast those Republicans out, and take over. And we allow that the Republicans could win in Nevada. They might even try in Colorado. There are other races that might crop up, but we want to know what's the easy 5 that the Democrats can take, the hardest ones for the Republicans to defend. You've sent us your submissions. You've sent them to Fox News First at foxnews.com, and we love getting them, and we love sharing your notes with the class. But sometimes it helps to have adult supervision. Sometimes it helps to have a real expert. And you're in luck today because Jennifer Duffy is maybe the expert. She is of the Cook Political Report, and she is one of the most sought-after minds on this subject. And she has, by an accident of scheduling, agreed to do this. So, Jennifer, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Okay, so here's the thing. We've had a lot of different takes on this, but everybody agrees on number 1. We've had unanimity on number 1. What is your number 1?
My number 1 is the Senate seat in Illinois being defended by Republican Senator Mark Kirk.
Boom.
This is a seat that President Obama carried by 17 points. And okay, so we had a little bit of home team advantage,
right.
Home field advantage there. Maybe, you know, in a normal race, it's not quite 17, but it's up there.
But a Republican would need in this state, and we talk about this all the time, a delta with their party's nominee in Illinois. The Republican's going to lose Illinois by 10 points or more.
Exactly. And this is hard. I think that Senator Kirk brings some other issues to the table.
Right.
You have to admire his recovery from his stroke.
Admiration stipulated.
But it makes it very hard for him to campaign.
Right, so.
His staff has said publicly they're not sure he can debate. Now, Democrats have stepped in a little bit on their side too.
Well, don't go too deep on number 1.
All right.
Because we're all in agreement.
This is the fear of having me sit here.
Number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Ron Johnson, Wisconsin.
Okay. And a similar problem there?
Well, not quite similar. I think that, you know, Ron Johnson got elected on the strength of the Tea Party movement. I think it took 2010. I think it took him a long time to adjust to life in the Senate, and he will tell you it's easier being a corporate CEO. He's got a tough race with an opponent, the guy who will be beat.
Right.
Now, the last time a senator has vindicated his loss, that is running 6 years later against the guy who beat him. Oh, it was 1934.
But other than that, it's gone great.
Yeah, other than that, it's awesome.
But so that one is by no means a shutout.
Not at all.
A lot of football to be played there.
Not at all. But it's going to be a close race regardless.
Number 3.
Number 3 in my mind is Florida. The open seat in Florida, I think it is the swingiest of the swing states.
And it's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy in the presidential. It's going to be crazy at the Senate. Both sides have what will prove to be very entertaining primaries.
And Quinnipiac points out this week, nobody has enough awareness of any of these candidates to even start to sort it out. There are a bunch of unknowns.
Exactly. You're talking about a really big state. In fact, somebody once described it to me as a country and 4 other states. It is just broadcast television, a $2 million a week proposition. It's going to be expensive. It's going to be a real race.
And that's your bare minimum. That's not doing 2,000 rating point saturation. That's just to stay in the game.
Exactly. That's to be invited to the party.
Right. Who's up next?
Who's up next? I'd have to say I'm going to put Pennsylvania next.
Okay.
Pat Toomey.
Toomey's running well, though.
He is running a good campaign. This is a state that Obama carried by 5 points. Democrats do have a primary that's going to be interesting. I have to say that there are 2 incumbents running great campaigns right now. One of them is Toomey. The other one would be Rob Portman in Ohio.
And is that your number 5?
That is my number 5.
Okay, so those guys are on the list, but by merit of how well they're doing in their own campaigns.
Exactly, but here's the thing about somebody like Toomey and Portman. They could run great campaigns, perfect campaigns, error-proof campaigns. But if the presidential doesn't go well from Republicans, they could go down anyway.
And so when we look historically at the delta that candidates can have and win, we see 5 points, we see 6 points that popular home state, Senate, or statewide candidates can achieve. And sometimes you see extraordinary ones like Joe Manchin in West Virginia, or people like that that can do big deltas. But generally speaking, if this is a blowout, it's not going to be good in either Pennsylvania or Ohio if the Democrats rout the Republicans.
And then we can look down the road a little bit once they get candidates in places like New Hampshire, where, you know, they don't have a candidate yet.
So it's the tractor beam.
Right. So what we discovered, I think, in 2014 proved it to us. Presidential performance actually matters in Senate races.
Yeah.
The difference between 2014 and 2016 is that Democrats had to run in much redder states. We're talking 27 points in West Virginia.
The lay of the land.
You know, 24 points in Arkansas. 17 points is a worst case scenario for Republicans in this environment. After that, it drops to 7 points. I think if you're in the neighborhood of 4 or 5 points, you can survive that, unless it's a blowout. And if it's a blowout, you know, you can see Democrats picking up more than 5.
Nellie bar the door.
Exactly.
Jennifer Duffy is smart. She is patriotic. She's sagacious. She is generous with her time to be here with us, and we thank you for doing that.
Happy to be here.
All of those things and more. Internet, we thank you for stopping by too, and we hope you'll come back for more Power Play real soon.